So a total stranger in this world is trying to guilt me, make me feel guilty for not keeping my phone on 24/7, as in all night long when I'm sleeping. Just, for not keeping it on in case there's an emergency with my mom. So the guilt worked. I kept my phone on last night. I slept supposedly from 7:45 to 7:45, but I feel like I didn't sleep at all. I slept horribly, had horrible anxiety nightmares. And the interesting thing to me is, okay, you could say, there could be an emergency with your mom, you should keep your phone on 24/7, Play devil's advocate. There are people who, I happen to be a light sleeper. There are people, and we've all known them, where you can't, they would sleep through like a fire alarm. Like they are such dead to the world sleepers. So what if I was that? You're going to condemn me then? What if I kept my phone on but I didn't hear it? Also, I'm never ever, neither is Joe by the way, having a smartphone for a number of valid reasons that I will not disclose out here. This phone takes hours to charge fully. And when I'm talking, like, say, the other talking for almost an hour to crisis, talking to doctors, talking to whatever, and my phone goes dead, then it takes hours to charge. Or I could be out walking, or I could be bathing. At any given moment, there could be an emergency with my mom. Okay? I also have no way to get to her anyway. Okay? It's not, it's just reality. But the stranger guilted me. I'll start keeping my fucking phone on at night. When I do that, I feel like any moment it could ring with horrible news, But I'll do it. I'll do it until or unless, my mom starts calling me early in the morning or something. But she's in a mental hospital. She's not allowed to have her own phone, so. And they should be smart enough to not let her call me early, but even if they did once, like happened before, I could just say, I could put in a rule, she's not allowed to call me before 10. Anyhow, I did keep it on last night, which is really this morning. So for those of you who don't know, or to refresh the memory of those of you who do know, since I'm the one who always is talking about all this, again, I have to also be, make sure I'm proactive and tell her, remind her again, don't sign shit, Mom, ever. Okay, the healthcare proxy is not invoked. I'm going to tell her, don't sign anything, because she's not going to understand anything. And I know this world. I know, because we've experienced it, where they'll put stuff in front of her to sign when she doesn't understand one fucking thing, when she doesn't know what she's signing. I'm going to nip that in the bud. You're not going to invoke the healthcare proxy, then I'm going to make sure she doesn't sign shit. That you run anything you want her to, because signing's binding. You run it by me. I have to get ahead of the game with that. Because I've learned from experience, you can't trust these people ever. And it's a given. If she's calling me and screaming and talking intelligently and all that, she would never know what she's fucking signing, okay? I don't trust anybody or anything in this life. Justifiably don't. Anyway, let me refresh your memory, okay? Since they're asking me. When my mother, and of course I don't remember everything, but I have it all documented. I actually have all the records, but that's, I mean, not the, you know what I mean? But when my mother was first unable to walk a couple of years ago, a little over a couple of years ago, right? It wasn't injury. It was illness, prolonged illness. She was in that nursing home and she was so weak. She lost all her ability to walk. But she was never in a wheelchair. They had her in a walker. Then she was taking the friggin' baby steps. And people thought she had Parkinson's, which then we saw a neurologist. She did not have Parkinson's. She had severe leg atrophy. And then his instructions, which my mom just, it was torture for her. She couldn't stand it. And we stopped that, didn't we? Or he wanted her to use that Blue Tiger, you know, and really push herself, and she fucking hated it. Because he's like, you got, your legs are just a trophy, that's all, you know, name of my mom, and it's not Parkinson's. But it was not injury. Wasn't injury, okay? And then she, breaking my heart in the process, because I knew it was but she had a right to do this, but I knew it was going, you know, backwards. It was much, much better for her to use a walker, but she wanted a wheelchair, so we got her one. We got her one, okay? Because she had the right, and she wanted a wheelchair, and that was that. Because she also, presumably the wheelchair would move faster to get her to the bathroom, because remember, it's life or death that she not pee into her adult diapers that are meant for that, and it's not a big deal, you just change, but she hates changing, and we all know that story, okay? We also know the horror of me seeing her trying to get to the bathroom so fast, practically running with the fucking walker. She has no concept of falling, no concept of deadly injury or dying or possibly, you know, no concept of any of it. And that's even when she's well, okay? But it's a million times worse when she's unwell, because then again, like, it's God has healed her and she can walk and whatever, okay? So the thing with the cane, if she, you know, if they make her well or whatever, does she have the right to try to use it has to be supervised. You know, it can't be by me, okay? I'm not going to do it, because as Joe pointed out very, very bluntly just the other day, anything happens to your mother, they're going to try to hold you responsible. Yeah, no shit. Even though you know damn well, and so does Joe, I'm not responsible. I'm not responsible if, you know, she's nearly fallen and has fallen again in nursing homes. That first nursing home she was in a couple of years ago, because they don't get to her in time to take her to the bathroom, she was getting up on her own, but she wasn't approved, which means she had no wheelchair walker in sight. She wall crawled. Okay. Would they have been held responsible for that if she had fallen and smashed her head and died? No. Same with me here. Okay. But Joe makes a good point. They'll try, yeah. You can't just start using a cane. You have to build up to it. You have to practice. And it has, you know, I am traumatized by what I saw a couple weeks ago. Not only by her walking, and of course not walking well, but walking from her wheelchair, 10 feet from her wheelchair, holding on to nothing. But her blasé attitude after, Mom, you could have fallen and smashed your head or broken another hip or whatever, but I didn't fall. You didn't fall. That's where the gap is in her brain. That's just unfathomable to me, to Joe, whatever. You didn't fall. That doesn't mean you couldn't have fallen your very next step. That doesn't mean I couldn't have come out to find you writhing in agony on our, like happened over a year ago. When I saw the writing on the wall, there was nothing I could do. When she fell and broke her hip, she was being careless, reckless. She was staying up all night. She was going back and forth from her wheelchair to her walker, and I had no control over that. It's called free will. She's a free moral agent, okay? Until she's not, like right now. She does not have any type of freedom right now, okay? It's a very strict place, but it keeps her safer than she's ever been. Again, at what cost, but That's the most terrifying thing for me, and I have to live with that. But I didn't fall. Your next step, you could have fallen. I caught you when you were trying to go to the bathroom in a daze, admittedly. Because when I asked her, she says, I forgot where I was. So she was just stumbling along, proving to her, yeah. There's no, there's no solution. But I don't know if that's even possible to hire someone to train her to use a cane. If that's what she wants to do, if she has the right to risk it. She's always pointing out, I'm not I know you're not. No one's saying you aren't. Nobody's saying you aren't. But the reason they want someone, the experts, the professional, anybody, social worker, whatever, you to use a walker is your age and this, debilitating, whatever, and your mental illness, and, that because it's a million times safer than you trying to use a cane. I don't know. All I know is I had her in a supposedly high-rated nursing home here in this state. And on paper, they were supposed to help her, and she was fucking fending for herself, and I know it, okay? They can give their little, and Joe laughed his ass off at that, yeah. Their little, when I confronted the head nurse, I'm here like 5 hours at a time, and no one comes once. Oh, well, we help her when you're not around, but we figure you're there to help her. Uh-huh. It's a bunch of bull. I know you're not. I know in my gut. I know by asking her. I know she's fending for herself, and I know she could fall at any moment because she. Remember, different state, different setup, different whatever. Okay. Every state's different. We only know Massachusetts, and now we're not in Massachusetts for this whole world of healthcare and nursing homes and all the crap. Okay, we've only ever known Massachusetts. I broke my fast after 22 hours. I ate my little things for an hour. I felt like it. And then I'm back to fasting today. I've run out of the good Chobani, the only kind I really like, which is the orange cream and the brand new blueberry lemon. So I have my mother's yogurts, but I don't particularly care for them, even the Chobani ones. I mean, I'm sorry, in the Chobani Creations ones. I'm hoping she comes home and eats them herself. But no, I know their little tricks. I've seen it. I've seen them. Where she doesn't know what she's signing and they try to put stuff in front of her to sign. When she's in mental hospitals, like. Point being, emphasis on, she doesn't fucking have a clue in the universe what she's signed. Many years ago, she was proud of herself. She's like, Laura, they put something in front of me to sign, and I told them I wasn't going to sign anything. She had the wherewithal to say that, and they needed to run it by you. Good for you, Mom. I taught you well. Especially these fucking days. I know all the fucking tricks they try to pull. So yeah, I slept horrible. And now I'm gonna try to sleep in the daytime, but I will keep my phone. The total stranger who clearly cannot stand me has guilted me into keeping my phone. No, like I said, it could be emergency at any time. Joe's actually the backup. I didn't even know that. They weren't able to reach me when my mother was in the ICU, a year ago, whenever. Like I said, it all blends into hell. And that's when I found out that they're like, you have this person down as a alternate healthcare proxy, but we don't have, they didn't have a phone number, I guess, or something. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know he was down as an alternate. I didn't remember. Remember, we did estate planning like 7 years ago. I want to keep stressing this because, it's binding. We did it 7 years ago, did it all by the book, all in front of witnesses, unlike what Auntie did decades ago, okay? All by the book, all in front of witnesses, all in a lawyer's office. And when we told the lawyer all the crap, We got a letter of competency from her longtime primary care, my mom's longtime primary care physician of over like a decade, okay? Or at that time, was it? Yeah, like a decade or whatever. But you know what I mean? Who, as I told you, saw her alone. Okay. I did not. I attended all the other health, medical appointments. I did not attend this one, and that was by intentional. Okay. She saw her doctor alone. She saw him for a long time. And he was not just going to write something and just, no. All on the up and up. Those little cunts didn't get to know about it because it's not their business. It's not anyone's business. You're not my mother's fucking guardians. You just like to pretend you are. Fucking bitches. Oh, the book I could write. I never will. Just continuously drowning, continuously drifting. Remember, I get to have no affection, no love, no anything like that. And I'm just barely always keeping my head above water. I still give my mom a damn good quality of life. And I know that I do. Other people know it as well. It's just that she wants the impossible. She wants to walk when she can't. She wants to, But again, if she has the right to want to try to walk without a walker, you have to build up to it. And I am not the one to do that, to train her on how to do that. I don't know how you go about that. But she's not having her fucking rebounder, and the thing is, no one's going to force Joe to set it up, and no one can force me to find someone to set it up. So you want to find someone to set it up, to be irresponsible, you go ahead and try, Mom, It's all taken apart. It's taken apart when it was shipped. Put on the damn pack container. Which that was a joke, too. Everything arriving all awful. Not everything, but just. No, my mom wants the impossible. She wants just, like, that's why it's like, I can walk, and we need to pack, and we need to go, and we have millions of dollars in the bank, and we're going to Hawaii, and all this crap. When she's lost her mind. But even when she's not lost her mind, it's like she can't stand the mirror, and she thinks she's going to have plastic surgery that would cost like tens of thousands of dollars. She wants, you're 79 years old. Wants all the moles gone and the wrinkles and the this and that. She's just living in la la land. Unable to appreciate just the little things. All the, So her mind snapped. She was on the least amount of psychiatric medication she'd been on for a long, long time, and now it's going to change, as is always the case when she ends up in a mental health facility. There's nothing that I can do. I mean, at this point in the game, I'm just trying to not allow all this to destroy me. That's a constant struggle. Remember when she broke her hip, she didn't fall, she didn't have a seizure. She was careless and reckless and thinking nothing bad's going to happen to her, and God won't let anything bad happen to her. And that's her stubborn delusion that could easily end to her seriously injured or even dead. Okay, that's reality. It's a gap in her thinking, or it's just total delusion. That, of course, is going to have me a nervous wreck 20, always, always, always. When she's with me, I do my best to keep her safe, and I do my best to give her the best quality of life I'm able to. She wants for nothing. It's just that she wants too much. I ordered her the damn thing because we had talked about getting that, and I looked it up, and it's highly recommended. I got her the lips, but she still won't be able to have the freedom to use it on her own. It still needs to be supervised. You understand? She can't walk. It has a cord. It has to, she could. It has to be supervised. And her little, don't you treat me like a baby or whatever, because you're delusional. You have to be protected from yourself. Period. And on my watch, as Joe bluntly pointed out, I will be held responsible if anything happens to you. Or they'll at least try to hold me responsible. Unfairly, mind you, hold me responsible. So I got her the ellipse. I also got her the small thing, which she wanted, the manual old-fashioned tape recorders. They miraculously still sell, the big old-fashioned kind, with the cassette tapes. Right now, who knows if she will survive or if she will ever even get home to use any of it. But it did get it. And didn't get it after she was sectioned. I ordered it before. Okay. I'll probably use the fucking lips. Maybe. I don't know. I also ordered myself a new NutriBullet. I really like those, and they have, they keep improving on it, but